Mate, look at you. You got your bloody bogan silks on.
Bogan silks. No, mate, do you know what these silks are? These are winners' silks. And my team's a winning team.
New coach, new era.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, beating premiership heavyweights, the Roosters. And deservedly so. I'll tell you what, that was a roller coaster of a game.
Mate, hell of a finish.
Yeah, great finish.
The old two, always be wary of the second kick.
Yeah, the second kick. As Gus Gould would say, always be wary of the second kick. Do you know what I was surprised with? The fact that you can headbutt a player and stay on the field.
Oscar.
What's Oscar Radley doing? Get back in the bin. That was absurd. Some of the refereeing, like I'm not a guy who complains about referees, but I don't know what your name is, ref, but some of the calls you were making left a lot to be desired. But yeah, Drifters, look, you know, my team is terrible. Like, I've come to terms with the fact that I support a team that is just generally terrible. Administration, from top to bottom, stinky. Just reeks, rotten. Like, there's something going on. Something in the roots, and it just comes up and, you know, it just the entire tree is just sick.
Well, when you have, I think you made the very, very valid point during the week that when you have a man who's playing, I think, the 40th there or thereabouts in history of the great game of rugby league, playing his 300th game, and none of the heavyweights go to the dinner in celebration. Come on.
Something stinks.
Come on, man.
Something stinks. But no, look, it's good to be back in the winner's circle. Last time they won was the V's update against the Dolphins the day before my wedding. That was the last time they won.
Yeah, right.
So look, it feels good, man. It feels good.
I have a poem that I've just thought of.
Yeah.
Oscar Radley, he's a man of sin. Oscar Radley, he lives in a bin.
Oscar Radley. You can't go around headbutting people, mate.
You can't.
Unbelievable. But no, yeah. So it was good to be on the right side of the bounce for once,
mate. It's very good, and at least at the time that we're talking right now, our other team, the Brisbane Lions, are at the tippy top of the AFL ladder.
They're humming, aren't they?
Mate, last night, right? And you might be thinking, hey, we're not here for the insight for AFL and rugby league.
Yeah,
hey,
we're not doing
hold your horses, you might say.
Yeah, we're not a footy review podcast.
No, we could be.
We could be.
I watched that entire game from Go to Woe last night, and it was weird. I've never seen that many goals after a siren ever.
Yeah.
First three quarters. It was bizarre. And that third quarter was extremely frustrating to have the free kick. Oh, was it half time? I can't remember. But basically, should be up by 18, up by 6. But for them to basically not play their best footy, the Gold Coast turned up. That first three quarters, they looked like a top 8 side. And then Brisbane just, what they can do better. You know who they're reminding me of this year?
Who?
The Melbourne Demons of previous few years. They can just score like 6 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah, just overwhelm the team. Yeah, no, it was good, and I was actually at the game, Drifters in members, might I add. So I was just saying to you before, Hutch, like, I'm just not a GA guy anymore. I'm a members guy. Like, that's my minimum now. Like, when I'm going to the track, when I'm going to the AFL, a bunch of other things. Like members is my minimum expectation. I don't belong in GA. No. I'm better than that. You can stay in GA with your Tara Cash suits on, Drifters. That's what you can do.
That's the standard. Right? The standard's up here.
Mate, do you know what else was so funny? So I've never been to members AFL game, right? So I went up with my older brother Jacob, and he was like, like you should wear a collar. And I was like, I've already left the house. Like, I've just got a jumper on and my Lions scarf. You know, will it be a big deal? He's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And I was like, yeah, okay. As if everyone's going to be wearing a collar in members. I paid specific attention to every single bloke who was in members last night, and every single one of them had a collar on, mate. Literally every single one. So I'm walking around super self-conscious. I've literally got my scarf like wrapped around my neck. There could be a collar underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't believe it. Every single person had a collar on.
Played by you. You had jacket zipped up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no t-shirt under.
Walk around real stiff-necked.
Well done. Well done. Well, it's good to know how the other half live, drifters. But let's turn our attention to what was, I believe, the last time for this season at least, there'll be Group 1 racing interstate. So we're purely just riding out the winter Group 1s for the rest of the year, which is good to see. Leo's ecstatic about it.
Yeah, he's happy.
Hear him in the background.
No, fair enough.
So let's kick it off with the Goodwood, mate. Why not? Let's get it out of the way. I gave Royal Merchant absolutely none in my preview, but again, these 3-year-olds, it's a proven formula.
Mate, in the sprint races, the 3-year-olds just absolutely braining him. No, I didn't give her any thought at all. But if you look back at her last start win against the horse that I backed, I can't remember his name. Was it So Dazzling? No, not So Dazzling.
No. Maybe
got pipped on the line. Oh, drifters, no. What's the name of that horse?
Well, I think what it proved is just there's always a training combination that just owned this carnival. And this year it's Kieran Maher, David Eustace.
3 out of 4.
Unbelievable. She dances.
She dances. So if you actually look at that win there, that was a really good win against She Dances. So, and down in the weights, it was always going to be a 3-year-old winning the race. It's just not the one we picked, Lofty Strike. I thought he was going to pounce here.
Mate, he just doesn't go in the heavy. And I was texting you earlier on the day going like, I'm so close to change to another award in our group 1 tipping that we have, just because I know he's no good on the heavy tracks.
Yeah.
And the market suggested that.
Yeah,
He's $3 on the morning, and then he got out to about $4.20, but he was still favourite. So with the good people at Ned's, it was like really interesting. So I actually think the bookies actually foresaw a result like that happening.
Yeah.
Which Adelaide can dish up.
Yeah, 100%.
An $18 winner.
100%. Mickey D on a roughie in a Group 1. Like
Hong Kong Mickey. Yeah,
he's just flying, airborne. And a lightweight jockey too. So Royal Merchant had 52.5 kegs. Another award was great.
Mate, pumped in the market.
Yeah.
So I think when we were talking about her, I think she was about $13 on Wednesday. And she started at $6. Like, hell of a move there. This is, as you were saying, I think it's her swan song. But, gee, if she's going that well, why wouldn't you go on for another preparation,
Yeah, she's 5 or 6?
Yeah.
So, could get another year of racing out of her. She's really good over that 1,200 metre distance at Morphettville, at the very least. Who else ran into the placings there? Zapateo?
Zapateo was wide the trip. Looked like she was just going to explode, but was a little bit flat, I guess. Maybe it's the weights that came into the equation, probably to an extent, but Royal Merchant just too good on the day. Rock hard fit, you might say.
100%. Look, again, it's pretty underwhelming Group 1, to be honest. But look, congrats to you if you found Royal Merchant.
I agree with what you're saying. Now, the Doomben Cup was interesting.
Lots to unpack.
Yes, heaps to unpack. A very, very similar affair to last year. With Huerta just going back to back and peaking on the right day. I made a bit of a case for him on Wednesday, just had a sneaking suspicion that he's a horse that needs a ton of racing to get into him.
He's a big fat gelding. Yeah. He takes a while to get going.
And he he basically had the spring off because he had some sort of injury.
Yeah, like an eye injury, I think.
Eye injury.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's probably just needed a bit more confidence to actually put that behind him as well. So put a line through his first 3 or 4 runs. When he gets out to this 2,000 metre distance, he's bloody hard to get past.
Yeah. Zaki had to do a bit of work to get out front. I wasn't sure how quick they were going, though.
No, I don't know either. And it's something that I haven't really unpacked either. I don't think anyone really saw Banker's Choice making it a bit more difficult for him.
Yeah.
Because Numerian didn't. Numerian was probably the run of the race.
Yeah.
Wide early, doing a lot of work, and then just got pipped by one who was better on the day. So Zaki gets going at about 600 metres from home here, and I think we knew just about now that it wasn't looking good.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. J-Mac got the whip out on the bend, which is so unusual. So, I'd love to know what the pace is without knowing drifters. Like, if the pace was moderate to fast, then that might explain it. But he usually holds on for a lot stronger than what he did. So there's got to be something up with him.
See, we're looking at about 300 metres from home. A tissue's actually pulled out of the race as well. So I haven't seen if there's anything wrong with her, or clearly there is. But Numerian takes over here. Huerta's just on his side. And Huerta doesn't have a turn of foot on him, but I think he has a strong will to win and a grinding finish. He can grind away those ones ahead of him.
Do you know who were the 2 flashing lights in the race? Obviously, Captain Obvious. Obviously. Kovalika heading into the Derby next week, and Dewis was great.
Mate, I saw a few people batting up for her after you. After you put it first.
I was first.
Just by the virtue that we're probably the first horse racing podcast out there, to be fair. She was brilliant. I think you're 100% right. Don't rule her out of anything in the spring.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what price she'd be for something like Cox Plate.
Yeah. Yeah. She's heading into she'll be a 6-year-old in the spring, so she'll have another good spring and autumn prep in her, and then, probably off to the breeding barn. But that was a brilliant return, first up over 2,000 metres after overcoming a poor spring. Yeah, got that bone chip out. She just needs a truly run race. I thought she was going to get going on the inside. She wasn't really trapped for a run, but I think the fact that she was first up showed. She was a bit fresh.
Yeah.
But in a truly run race over 2,000 metres, she sat a lot closer than what she typically does yesterday. Yeah, she's definitely one to follow into the spring. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to spell her now and freshen her up, or go to the Q22 or something. She'd be brilliant over the 2,200.
Yeah. Numerian won it last year, didn't he?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. I had him in my quaddie. And he was paying 20 to 1, then I got knocked out in the second leg. Isn't that quaddies, though, drifters?
Yeah,
you know
typical.
What I mean?
Typical.
All right. Name of this episode is called Consistency. And the reason for that is because we're consistent owners, at least. We have them running 6th week on week.
Yeah. Our guy Counter had his Australian debut. G'day, Leo. Yesterday, Newcastle. It was like mint condition 2.0. Pinged the gates, didn't he?
How? Why? In his trials, he sat last and second last. And he finished third last and last in them. What we were a little bit buoyed about, which we probably didn't, think would happen, but Newcastle is proving to be one of the great draining tracks of all time.
Yeah.
Because it was a heavy 8 on the Friday, and then by race time, it was a soft 5.
Yeah.
So, because by all reports, he doesn't really like getting his toe into the ground.
No. But no, I thought that was a brilliant debut. It was more of a learning exercise for all involved, for trainers, owners, and the horse. We got a really good report post-race from the Chris Waller team. And Chris sort of separately texted Craig, who's the managing owner of Counter, that this horse will be good in the spring. So
just too fresh prior to the race and during the race. Once he was about a few hundred metres into it, he was getting into his rhythm. Mate, on the bend, he looks strong. I was like, you're kidding.
Yeah, I was like, you are kidding. I should have whacked him.
Yeah.
But no, I was very happy with that. He'll go spell now. We'll come out in the spring, and what his level is, like, God knows.
Yeah.
Right? God knows. But I'm just hopeful for like a Saturday Metro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hopeful for.
Mate, if he's racing and, finishing off the day at Rosehill in a benchmark 78,
I'm a happy man.
I'm stoked.
I'm a very happy man.
Absolutely. So let's get into the rest of the results here. We'll start at Morphettville. Race 3 was a Group 3 for the 2-year-olds. So I think you might have been on Chilled
I was
in
on
this
Chilled.
race.
Yep.
My thing down low, I was arrogant on the turn.
You were,
I thought
loomed up.
I thought it was winning with a leg in the air. But then I made... If you ever want to hack to see when the camera angle's no good, which is pretty terrible at Morphettville, this is some advice that a friend of ours made. Don't look at the horses. Look at the shadows. And he's bloody right, Josh McClellan.
Yeah.
Look at the shadows. I did that. And I'm like, oh, no.
Mate, he knows his shit.
Yeah.
Joshua. He knows his shit.
Yeah.
I thought you were arrogant, but Heuristic is a cult, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so Godolphin, they keep them ticking over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep them ticking over.
Yeah. Now, the SA Fillies Classic, the Group 3 over the 2,500 metres, you were on Moyle Lass. She looked like she was just going to get the JD, but let's be frank, baby, the favourite, too strong. Whispering Lady ran a really respectable eighth.
Ollie was on, so I just knew that he'd run a nice second or third. He's there or thereabouts, poor Ollie.
Isn't he?
He's like Zapateo again, like he's there or thereabouts.
I know.
Poor fella.
The Lee Stakes, Group 3, Foxy Frida just absolutely sizzled home here.
Brained him, yeah. No prizes for finding her. I think she started probably $1.80 with Neds. So, but no, yeah, that was a good win.
Old boy Sosi Bond just running up to his level.
Exactly. 90-second start for Sosi. So hopefully he can raise the bat pretty soon.
Yep, absolutely. Unbelievably, Drifters, I found a winner in Morphettville here. Thought-provoking. This was a really smart win.
Yeah, I jumped on too. Yeah, I was on thought-provoking. It was a good win.
This was a significant push late. Like, it was about 350 5 minutes before the run, and then it got crunched into about 270 late. Started favourite.
Lightly raced.
Yeah, lightly raced. Been not proven, but been really consistent of late. I think it was 3 or 4 seconds in a row leading up to there, so owners would be stoked. Now, I believe you said snapped on this podcast.
I did. I backed snaps. About $7 with Neds, I think it jumped. So, tell you what, the red and white we keep finding a way to win.
I was on hypothetical. She finished third for Ollie again. That's where I went wrong.
Yeah, exactly. If you want a nice each way bet, Drifters, just find whatever Ollie's on. So,
summary there is we've been there or thereabouts in Adelaide. So let's have a look in Brisbane. So, I think I said on Wednesday, and when I say I think, I definitely said I did. I do know what I said. These 2-year-old fillies, I'm finding extremely difficult to figure out in Brisbane.
Yes.
There is a different one popping up each week.
It was like the lead up into the Golden Slipper maybe this year or last year. Maybe I can't remember.
I think it was Fireburn's year.
Yeah, they just kept swapping.
Yep.
It was so bizarre. Yeah, it's hard to find them.
Yeah.
And the JJ Atkins is looking a complete mess.
Oh, I had a look at the market, and it is a absolute shit show.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. If you find the winner in your futures markets now, good luck to you.
Good luck to you. Yeah, 100%.
So I believe I said abounding on this podcast.
I was on Russian Alliance.
So Russian Alliance, it could have potentially been what I was mentioning, or it could just be something else. I don't know. Those two fillies had a really long prep into this run. Now, am I going to... Abounding she's a difficult one. She's probably the flashing light out of the race because she was 4 wide the trip and still savaged the line. I think she's got an absolute astounding will to win. But she'd be nearly a 7th run of the prep next start.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to do that for a 2-year-old?
I don't know. Well, what stable is she out of? The Heathcote stable. Yeah, I don't know. But Zia, I thought, was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also had a small bet on Makina out of Chris Waller and J-Mac on board. Sat in the first... Just gave me Zugocha vibes of her first prep. And I was like, I'll see what happens here. She was about $11 on morning, backed into 650, so there was market support there as well. But I think she actually probably didn't finish off as I'd like to see, but she might be a prep away. Who knows? Race 4. Now, the Pam O'Neill. We both gave Frumos a push here.
Mate, like the Morphettville Mafia, like when we got something on target, we don't miss. We absolutely savaged this. Frumos. Bit of an enigmatic horse, but it just reeked of victory.
Yeah.
Like the last start, 4th or 5th or whatever, when it battled on a heavy track, J-Mac goes on, tight Doomben track, good barrier. Yeah, recipe for success.
Of those, finishing home, pretty amazing who was the other one that I was on in the race as well. She has a horrific pattern, but she has a lot of talent. Much like Frumos. But I think what she needs at this stage of her preparation, she needs further. That's what she needs. So I kind of learnt my lesson there with Pretty Amazing. Now, we actually didn't preview this race, I don't think, the Derby McCarthy. But you were on Golden Boom.
Yes, Golden Boom was great. But Spacewalk.
That was one of the most sickening defeats I've ever seen.
Mate, came home like a freight train.
Yeah. And,
did nothing right in the run.
Nah, nothing. And a lot of it was out of his control. Usually he's the one making the mistakes.
He is. I've backed him plenty of times. Backed him plenty of times, and he's always ran pretty well. But he's been the on the losing end of a few what's the word?
3
protests. Jesus. But savaged the line. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Now this was one of the first races where we really didn't hit the Chief De Beers. Mashani's when in doubt, go Mashani. I think that's the lesson here.
The cash cow.
Bacchanalia got scratched. I think he ran in the BRC Cup or the BRC Sprint. But you're on Zethus.
I was.
Nice 4th.
Yep.
There. He just got too far back.
Yeah, way too far back.
Yeah. But Mashani Sniper, if you found him, good on you. $17. Full credit to you. Now, the BRC Sprint, this was an interesting race as well. Surf Dancer at $31 pops up. Now, he's been kissed on the gelding dick here because he had one of the greatest runs of all time. The runners up here, Dragon Leap and Cardinal Gem.
Yeah.
Cardinal Gem looked gone, 200 from home, and then he does what Cardinal Gem does.
He just came home like a freight train.
Huge
Wide
run.
the trip.
Yeah. And Dragon Leap was wide, and he was outside him.
Yeah. So the two of them heading towards a Stradbroke if they go there. Down in the weights, wouldn't rule them out. That was both awesome.
Look at their starting price here. Dragon Leap, $31. Cardinal Gem, $5. Of the two, surely you'd be going Dragon Leap in futures right now.
Yeah, true.
That's just based on their starting profile here. Yet to actually look at them for a Stradbroke market. But Scalapini on pace, he loomed up like the winner as well.
Yeah.
Just with that top weight, probably found him out.
Yeah, good tough horse.
Yeah. And then the last. Now, I'm gonna say something here. I am the greatest Fireburn punter of all time.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've bet on her since her very close second in the Champagne.
Yeah.
As a 2-year-old. And she won arrogantly.
She was awesome.
I rewatched it this morning because I only saw it when you popped it up at the pub yesterday.
Yeah.
So I actually rewatched the run. It was the Golden Slipper 2.0.
Mate, yeah.
What a ride by Jason Collette.
Yeah, on the rails, comes through. On a dry deck, like tight turning track. It was a good win, mate. And beating home Renaissance Woman, who was a favourite in futures markets for the Queensland Oaks. Like, does Fireburn displace her as favourite of that race now?
Oh, you probably have to say yes. Like, how good of a horse is she, Fireburn?
Yeah.
So she's won, a Group 1, 2 Group 1s at 2, and then she's been Group 1 placed at 2 as well. So she's won the Golden Slipper at 1,200. She's won the Size at 1,400. Ran second in the Champagne at 1,600. Then as a 3-year-old, did she run 4th in the Spring Champion maybe? And then, or not the Spring Champion, there's a 2,000 metre race there. And then she ran, 3rd or 4th in the Oaks.
Yeah. I think I think Gary Portelli, and no one can blame him for this, after she's, won the sprint race, Golden Slipper, and then, 1,400, 1,600 just got pipped. Like, you could forgive Gary Portelli for being like, oh, my girl Fireburn is a sprinter miler type, and when she's heading into her 3-year-old season is focusing on those sort of races, and she's not winning, she's not beating the other fillies over that distance, and then she finally gets out and starts running really well. Like, you'd forgive Gary Portelli for taking a while to come around to the fact that, okay, as a 3-year-old, she's now developed into more of a staying type, which is just unbelievable. Like who's the last filly to win a Slipper and then an Oaks? Has there been one?
Oh, what did Samantha Miss do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, yeah, she's going to be hard to beat, I think, in the Oaks, mate. Off a freshen up. And wouldn't you just love to see her run super well, rate really well, and then heading into her 4-year-old season, like that's a horse for our weight for age ranks, you know, for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think what it's proved is her last 3 runs. So I think it was over the 2,000, the 2,500 of the Oaks, and now again at the 2,000 here. I think we've figured out Fireburn now.
Yeah.
That she's, as you said, not that sprinter miler type.
No.
So Samantha Miss won the Champagne Stakes as a 2-year-old, and then she won the BRC Oaks. So she's pretty much
That's
like,
pretty good.
like, yeah, she's that type of operation. Yeah. But Fireburn's now in the conversation. What do you think's more impressive? Someone like She Will Reign, who won the Slipper, got put away, and then she came out and won, I think, a Manicato or a Moira Stakes. Or the likes of Fireburn that, wins another Group 1 in the same prep, and then she wins this Group 2 over 2,000 metres. And is in the conversation, probably going to start favourite in the Queensland Oaks.
Against the older company, like She Will Reign.
Yeah.
I think at this stage, but you could also argue the significant step up in distance for Fireburn is pretty impressive, albeit against her own age. Unbelievable. And look, she was $3.60 yesterday, so it's not like...
No, but on Wednesday, she was about $6.50.
Yeah,
and on race morning, when I got on, she was $4.80. So there was support, but she got crunched late.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like there must have been a big push from the stable. Like she's ready to go off and freshen up. So yeah, no, very well found. I was on Sakura Girl, who ran a nice third.
I think you know what else we learnt about her. I think she revels being around other horses. Her best 2 runs today is that and the Golden Slipper, clearly.
Smothered and then...
Goes around...
Burst through.
I think she went around 1 horse in the Slipper. She went around 2 there.
Yeah.
And, you just... Some of those horses you need to ride for luck, but in between horses, not a lot of them like that.
No.
She does, and because I have it in my mind's eye, spring last year, they kind of rode her like the best horse in the race. You know what? Give her clean air, and she'll come down the outside and get the win. It's probably not the way to ride her. So inside barriers, get her back inside might be the key.
Get her eyeballing the rail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, extremely good horse. One of my favourites. Not much to add from the Rosehill Cup, Rosehill City Cup or whatever it was, Lord Mayor's Cup. I think you were on Navajo Peak, who ran second.
Well.
Yep. And that's about it, mate. What's on your agenda for the rest of today?
Bit of life admin stuff today. Heading off to the States in about 4 weeks, Drifters. So, G and I just need to finalise a few bits and pieces in terms of, booking some stuff, like hire cars and all that sort of shit. But yeah, so a bit of life admin. Aside from that, chilling like a villain. What about you? Mate,
got our photo shoot later today, which I'm extremely excited about. Mate, it's not about me, right?
It's not about you, no. It's it's about the people who will be able to see the photos because you're debuting your modelling career. So it's for them.
Yeah, that's true. So I'll do my hair, have a shower, wear whatever Prue tells me to wear.
Being dressed.
Yep, I'll get dressed, and but other than that, mate, I'm about to go to JB to purchase some items, and then. Yeah, that's about it, mate. I've already mowed the lawn this morning, done 2 loads of washing. There's another one in there. I'm that guy.
Have you eaten a pizza? Because because you were doing the Lord's work, and usually when you're doing the Lord's work, you've eaten a pizza by this stage. Have you?
No.
You haven't? Okay. I might actually have a pizza today. That's a good shout.
Mate, there's a Pizza Capers right there. And, yeah, I like what they do. I like their work.
Just fold over the pizza. It's good. Give it a big whack.
But Drifters, hopefully, you take a leaf from our book and you're as productive as we are. You know what I mean?
100%. I'll tell you what, Hutch, like doing these review podcasts over the last few weeks, for the most part, a lot of our picks are actually like...
Mate,
our strike rate in the top 3 at the moment is pretty fucking good.
You know what we should do? We should actually back everything to place.
Yeah, we should. But you know what? We're there or thereabouts. Like, if rarely is there a race where both of us are completely off.
Yeah, and trust me, there will be.
Do you know what that means, Drifters? I think we're better. I think we're better. And I tell you what, winners win. Winners win.
Winners do win. All right. That's enough. Goodbye.
Bye.